my wife got a notification on her business page that one of her videos that I made for her was copyright claimed by another company, Epidemic Sound. And of course, there was a link to Epidemic Sound beneath her video from that point forward. Like many of you, I am a content creator, a person who makes videos on YouTube, and there will be friends and family and people that you know that want you to make videos for them. Or maybe, in my case, my wife has a business and I needed to do I was reviewing a lens and I wanted to do like some really cool B-roll. And her business makes a really interesting subject. She's got a lot of really cool machines that do some really cool things, and she prints interesting stuff. So I did this B-roll sequence of her business and I posted it on my YouTube channel. And then I cut out the little B-roll sequence and I sent that to her just so she could post it on her Facebook page, not thinking that, I use Epidemic Sound, so it's definitely going to get copyright claimed. So that super frustrated me. I mean, I just felt that as a creator, I paid for this service for this music, and now anytime I send anyone a piece of content that I do for their product, if I'm reviewing something or if I do something for their business, Epidemic Sound is going to claim it unless I buy an additional subscription or upgrade to a commercial license, which is going to cost way more than I can afford as a YouTuber. So I started this quest, it started at Twitter really, of what music service can I use to avoid running into these embarrassing problems with my friends, family, and companies that I choose to work with. Because when I create a really cool sequence with a lot of interesting B-roll, I want to be able to send that to them so they can share it on their own social media pages and then, tag me, and eventually that hopefully will come back to me in the form of either business or more subscribers or whatever. So I did a bunch of research on a bunch of different companies, and I found the two that I think are probably the most interesting. The first one that reached out to me was Filmstro. They have a program that you download and you use it, and you score music to your videos or to your movie, to your sequence. It's really meant for someone who already has every shot planned out, they already have every shot filmed, and they need to then score or add music to it after the fact. And it's really great for that. Someone who already has a video that's rendered and exported and sent to the person that's going to be creating the score for it. First off, they have a Premiere Pro extension that is interesting and it looks really cool, but I don't use Premiere Pro. I use DaVinci Resolve, and I don't want to render out a sequence and then import that sequence to Filmstro's app and then score it and then export the music plus the sequence and then import that back into DaVinci Resolve just so I can use the sequence. So while what they have is really interesting, it wasn't going to work for me. And then I found Artlist through the recommendation of a few of the other people on my Twitter. I looked them up, and I mean, I've seen, creators recommend Artlist and ArtGrid, which is the same company, two different services. One is music and one is stock footage. Artlist is by far the most interesting program for me to use as a content creator, someone who wants to scroll through and filter by different, genres and instruments and find music that I like, so I can listen to the music first and then try and plan a B-roll sequence out following that music. Or what works for my workflow the best is first I'll film the A-roll and then I'll add in some B-roll to hide some really obvious cuts. And then I'll add music in after the fact. And I'll just try and find music that I feel like fits the vibe of what I was filming. Other times I will listen to a bunch of music and I'll be inspired by listening to that music to make a B-roll sequence that fits to that beat. And Artlist has a great selection of that. They've got over 12,000 songs sorted by a bunch of different genres, and I think there's 150 new songs-ish added every month. So they've got a great selection, but the most important part to me is pricing and licensing. Am I going to have the same problem that I had with Epidemic Sound, where I send someone a clip that I made and it gets copyright taken down or claimed? No, the licensing on Artlist is the best that I've seen. You can basically use any of the music that you download, whether it's going to be commercial, it's going to go on Netflix, it's going to be a movie or TV, national distribution, or just for YouTube, or if you create a clip and then you send it to someone and then they're going to post it. If you made it and you paid for it and you downloaded it, then you can use it on any of those, and you can use any song that you've downloaded while you have an active subscription forever. Did you catch that? Even after your subscription is canceled, you can still use the music that you downloaded when you had an active subscription in future projects. That's what makes Artlist's licensing so much more valuable than all of the other platforms that I've taken a look at. They call it a universal license. You get a 1-year subscription because you do have to subscribe annually, so it's $16 a month, but annually that's $200. And if you want 2 months for free, there's a link in the description you can use to sign up. You get that 1-year subscription and you can download a maximum of 40 songs per day. I mean, when I had Epidemic Sound for over a year, I only downloaded, I think, like 50 or 60 songs in that window. So 40 songs a day is a pretty high limit, because they don't want you to abuse the service and download their entire library, but you could if you downloaded 40 songs a day. You then cancel your subscription and you can use all of that music for eternity. And I wondered how they keep record of that. The way you download music is you add it to your cart once you're signed in, and then you check out. And then it emails you a receipt for all that music and adds the music as my downloads in your account. So you have a receipt on record in your email, and you have a license receipt in your account on Artlist. So you have multiple different places where you can review your licenses. And that's why Artlist is the best music platform that I've found. The license is so broad and so all-encompassing. You would just be a fool to use any other program over that one. Now, the only thing that Artlist I think is actually lacking is a sound effects library, because I know that a few of the others have pretty decent, Foley and sound effects libraries, but I imagine they'll probably be working on that soon. And if you really need one, YouTube has a selection of sound effects you can just download and use for free. It's completely worth it in my mind if you've been subscribing to any other music service and you have any aspirations beyond just your own YouTube channel. You can't really use Epidemic Sound for that because they're going to claim it or they're going to charge you. The only restriction on Artlist's music is you can't just download the music and then upload it with no other context or no voiceover or no video behind it. You can't download it and then submit it to a radio station and be like, this is my new song by Tommy Calloway. The music that I found so far is excellent. And I've already downloaded 50 songs. And ArtGrid is their stock videography, stock footage site, which is similar to the others, except for it also carries that same universal license. It's $40 a month if you want to get 4K footage, $25 a month if you only need 1080p footage. So I highly recommend you check out Artlist and ArtGrid. There's links in the description, and if you use those links, you will get 2 free months on your subscription. That's it. I mean, what a great service. I wish all of the other music services would adopt a similar universal license, because finding out after the fact, after you've already invested so much into learning, 1, your own music library, 2, all the historical footage across your other videos, after you cancel those on the other services, you can't post clips from the highlights of those videos because it has music embedded in them, and then Epidemic Sound or whoever else will just claim it if you don't still have an active subscription. That sucks. Anyways, I was really frustrated and I had to have this talk with you guys. So I'll see you in the next one. Peace.